Hey guys, Nubkeks here and welcome back to some Heroes of the Storm. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to be looking at some Ming gameplay and we're going to kick some absolute butt on Ming in this game. It's going to be kind of funny. There are the team comps. As you can see, I consider both of these pretty bad team compositions. Particularly looking at the enemy team there. They have a Zeratul, which I'm scared of. And their other two damage dealers are Nazebo, Gul'dan, which really are not scary for me at all. I consider them both pretty weak heroes at the moment. Their damage is very slow and that's going to be very easy for me to play around as Ming. Basically, I'm going to be able to play very aggressive because I'm not going to have to worry about big stuns or big burst damage coming out and killing me, and you're going to see me doing that in this game, playing it very aggressively, knowing that, well, it's very easy to calculate and know the threat of what's going to be coming at you when it's kind of slow damage like that. Now, very important here, level 1, Ming has got some very she's got a lot of diverse talents, and you know, people say she's a low skill cap hero. She's really not. She's a very high skill cap hero. You can do pretty well on her even if you're not great, but to get the most out of her you need to be very highly skilled. You know, there are a lot of players that are a lot better than me on Ming, and you be able to utilize a variety of talent builds. One of the talents I took up here at level 1, which is extremely important, and this is very easy for you to do. I could have killed Gul'dan here, except I wasn't really paying attention. One thing that's very important to do is to, level 1 I picked up Force Armor. What this does, it's basically like a spell shield, so every time you hit someone with your magic missiles, you gain a charge of spell shield. This is important, especially against someone like Zeratul. So Zeratul can get on me, he can do a lot of burst damage, he can potentially even kill me if I get caught out. But Force Armor is going to provide me huge protection against basically anyone who does a lot of ability damage. So that's pretty fantastic. As you can see, those Gul'dan Qs basically do nothing to me when I've got Force Armor on. They barely hit at all. But yeah, like this game, I was pretty confident. As you can see, just getting a lot of damage down on Zeratul, and there you go. Nice trade against the Zeratul. Sure, it costs us a fair bit of mana, but we come out of it and pretty much full health, and he loses half of his, so it's pretty damn good. Force Armor is pretty much essential against heroes like Zeratul, like Chromie, basically anyone who's going to be able to fairly consistently hit you with hard-hitting abilities. That's going to be crucial. Ideally, you don't want to get it. You prefer to have a game where you don't have to pick this and you can get Power Armor at level 1 or Power Hungry at level 1 instead, which gives you more mana from Regen Globe, so a bit more sustain, but also importantly it gives you a big chunk of ability damage every time you pick up a Regen Globe, which is also really, really nice. You can see here, Jano's in a bit of a rough spot, so it's like, okay, I'll just throw some things just to intimidate them away. I've already bullied their heroes around a little bit, even this early in the game, so it's like, okay, they're going to be kind of scared, so I can afford to do that and just scare them a bit. Also, most of the time when I play Ming, I do end up taking Force Armor. I just find that, generally speaking, it's the safer and more consistent thing, and you do get used to playing her without mana talents, and I do recommend it. It's a very good idea to get used to that. This Oriole is very dead. Rip. I'm gonna try kill Tyrael here as well. Okay, oh, nice Eltron Smite. That was pretty good, actually. He's gonna get out. Gonna land some of those missiles. Chase him a little bit, take a bit of unnecessary turret damage, but there you go, we secure the top temple too, and we got ourselves a nice level lead. A very good start to this game. So, I mean, yeah, the context of this is that, oh yeah, I'm trying to Hearthstone here. It's like, when my teammates ran to the bottom, they just ran away and they left the minion to hit me, which kind of sucked. But yeah, the context is, I mean, as I said, we've been having this big losing streak on the channel, so I want to give a bit of perspective onto Ming that I don't think I've covered before, and also a bit of perspective onto like carrying and MMR hell and that sort of stuff, but very, very broad. I might do another video on that sometime because I think there's a lot of interesting things to be said. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm just going into games where I'm at a fairly somewhat noticeable advantage in some situations, and I felt like this game was one of them where it's like, okay, the standard of this game is roughly speaking like low diamond, I suppose, which is lower than I am, and you're gonna see like I'm able to kind of just really bully these people around. But then like there's also games I have where it seems unwinnable, and it basically comes down a lot to like, does the draft work out in such a way that I get to play on a hero that's independent and can carry, or am I stuck on something that's team reliant? Because if I'm on something team reliant, it's gonna be stuck and I'm gonna basically get wrecked because you keep assuming your team are gonna do things and they don't, and you basically kind of feed. Basically is the problem. It's like, okay, yeah, of course they're gonna follow me in here, this is an obvious pick, and then like, no, they turn around and went for mercenaries. Oh shit, well, I guess I'll just die then. But oh well. I've gone for a somewhat standard-ish build on Ming. I also picked up dominance at level 4, so perhaps those aren't the most usual ones. I suppose the two very common ones you also see at these particular talent tiers would be well, Power Hungry, probably the most common at level 1. and then the Triumvirate at level 4, which reduces the cooldown of your W when you hit someone at long range. Just adds a lot more damage. Both of them add a lot more damage output, and that's the main thing. I just picked this build. Again, this is like the anti-Zeratul build, and just I can play really aggressively and kind of go YOLO build is what this is. You can see I'm even pushing down like way too far down the lane, getting caught out, and I'm just running away, and I don't really care. If you look at the minimap, it's fine, because as you can see, our teammates have all rotated down to the bottom temple, which is about to activate. The enemy team just committed. That was 3 heroes up top to try chase me down. So happy days, we're going to get a nice start and get a really good position going from the get-go onto this temple, which is really nice. Level 7 I did pick up Calamity. This is probably the most common level 7 one. Jaina is flaming. She was also like bossing people around in draft and stuff. This is something as well that happens to me in these games. Like I go so hard on tilt because like stuff like this really annoys me. You have all these chatty Cathies, that's what I call them. Like just they're like bossing people around. They're basically they shot call, but they're bad at it. You know what I mean? They're either assholes, like you know, like that guy, just insulting his teammate. You know, he can't say it constructively. He has to rage, or like as you can see, that's a pretty good move by Rhaegar right there. That's pretty cool. I think he's gonna get caught out now, but I mean, him dying here is actually Jaina's fault because she should be here helping, which is hilarious. But yeah, it's one of the most annoying things in like a kind of frustrating watching a train wreck kind of way is when you've got like players who are clearly weaker players on the team, basically bossing people around and shot calling and raging. You can see kind of rusty. That was terrible right there from me, missing those. Completely off on the W and then a bit off on the heroic ability as well. Like I haven't been playing too much, so I thought actually that was kind of a funny thing in this game. It was like, holy shit, we're kind of like stomping these guys, even though I felt like I kind of wasn't playing my best. Yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting insight into maybe some of what you can do with Li Ming. But yeah, I suppose the main things to notice so far in terms of the gameplay is that, well, it's a snowballing map, and we are snowballing it very much so. But as you can see, like I'm able to play very aggressively. The force armor is protecting me from the burst for Zeratul. With that kind of taken out of the way, I really don't have to worry about stuff. For example, here I thought it was funny, Jaina's being the bruiser camp. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to the bruiser camp. So much more to do. There you go. Zeratul is just wailing on a tower. That's really dumb, and he just takes a whole bunch of damage. We just blast away most of his health, and that's him. Just he probably has the Hearthstone there. So yeah, it's kind of funny, right? I'll show you. I think I do like briefly show you guys like one of the ranks. You see Zeratul right there? You see he's not even in the bush. There we go. I was gonna kill him, except he knew. He blinked away. I think he realized I spotted him. I could have maybe concealed that a bit more before going in, but that's okay. I think the rest of the enemy team is sort of nearby, but we're gonna try and get some poke in. Yeah, I think it was Oriel or Tyrael, I don't know. At a quick glance they look the same. But yeah, level 10, Disintegrate. I also love Wave of Force. I really love Wave of Force. Disintegrate is better for a bit more damage. Wave of Force is nice whenever you can get some picks. It's also really great against ETC. It's really good to play Li Ming into ETC. You can pick up Wave of Force and then like Tal Rash's elements or something, and you just use your heroic to stop mosh pit, and it's like, okay, use yourself on your own, you basically prevent all the mosh pits, because it's really hard to catch Li Ming in the mosh pits. But yeah, I also did a video on Raynor recently on this particular map, and I think that could be really interesting and helpful for you guys. You can see here, like, they're coming for me. I was trying to just like min-max that a little bit. I was like, I can get some like calamity damage, my teleport damage onto that Zeratul if they're not careful. And you can see again, like, I'm just able to go really aggressive, actually just disintegrating onto the Gul'dan, and Zeratul has to void prison to save Gul'dan, which I thought was mildly hilarious. Here we go. I meant to tap that well, I think I missed the click. But yeah, pretty sweet. Temples have activated. I'm just going to clear out this wave real quick. Shouldn't take too long. With this build, you do have quite a lot of wave clear. Basically anything with Calamity, you've got a lot of wave clear. As you can see, just churns through minions pretty quickly. Jaina does die, somewhat unsurprisingly. But here you go. Got to arrive in here, try to help mop this fight up. Okay, just teleporting in aggressively, playing somewhat like a bruiser, as I can, basically. Force Tyrael does get away. Nice Eldritch Might. Good effort by him. But we got a kill. In fact, we got 2 kills. Yeah, we got 2 kills. Zulk, I think, got one at the bottom, I think. Yeah, pretty happy with that. We're going to go grab that bottom temple as well. So nice lead so far. Very, very nice. Yeah, you might contrast this to the Raynor game, though, and kind of see, because, again, I consider Li Ming probably one of the best assassins in the game right now. Like, in terms of her win rate, she's not crazy. She's just very stable, around 50% win rate. She's, like, really well balanced. But the reason I put her tier 1 is that you can, like, you can pick her so easily into anything. Like, I first picked her in this draft. I was just like, yep, first pick, and pretty much no fear whatsoever. Now, the only thing you have to watch out for is Li Ming, really, honestly. Force Armor protects you from so much, Teleport protects you from so much. Like, a lot of the other anti-mages you're protected from, like Artanis is kind of good against you, but like, let's say Stitches is usually one of the most worrying ones. You're pretty good against Stitches, because you can just teleport away from his hook. You don't have to worry about it, really. Playing against... you're going to be able to go very aggressive here. Kills coming in left, right, and center. I thought this was a little tip, actually. Let me just mention this before I talk a bit more about her in the draft. But as you'll probably notice, while I'm playing Li Ming, is that I'm often shooting at stuff that's like off my screen. I think that's important, is, you know, with Li Ming, to try to cultivate at least a little bit of a sense of where stuff is in the game, even without necessarily looking at it. It's going to be very important, because you do have such long range in your abilities. You have to put a lot of thought, or not even a lot, you have to put a moderately decent amount of thought, let's say, into thinking about where people are going to be in the next few seconds and stuff like that. Like, to really get the most out of Li Ming, you have to be thinking about, like, okay, am I going to get a reset soon? Okay, if I get a reset, who can I attack? When can I get my next reset? And you need to be planning ahead. You also need to be planning ahead in terms of where you're going to shoot stuff, and in terms of where people are going to go, so you can land your abilities better and better. I mean, as you can see, like, a lot of the time I'm attacking stuff that's kind of off my screen, especially when those resets start coming. I just start firing stuff off like crazy, and I'm able to shoot and hit people even when they're not on my screen, because I know where they're going to go just by thinking about, like, okay, where's the pressure in the team fight? I think Rhaegar misses Ancestral there. That's okay, gonna get one kill here. So we'll see this in this, like, team fight. Okay, she's way up top. Okay, I'm just gonna fire stuff. She's not even on the screen. That's okay. And there we go, rotating bottom as well. I knew that he was going to die, and then I was ready to jump on the Tyrael pretty much immediately, dodge the Tyrael thing, and there you go. Cool, we're onto the core. Pretty damn good. But yeah, so you need to watch out for a Nubkeks if you're going to pick Li Ming. A Nubkeks hard counters her. It's really difficult to deal with. His dampened magic makes him so tanky, and his beetles block your skill shots. It's a huge pain in your ass. But you're good against pretty much everything else, right? Her other big counter, I would have said, would have been Tracer. Tracer's amazing against her. But guess what? Tracer just got nerfed. Thanks, Blizzard. So yeah, Li Ming gets she's an even safer pick. It's one of the things. It's like, well, I think Falstad is up there. It's like a safe pick as well. And then you got heroes that are kind of strong. But Li Ming is just like, she's good. She's consistent. I think that's one of the most important things. She is consistent. We'll come take a look at the stats in a second as well. And I think I'll go over the talent builds here too, in case I missed out anything and you guys want to talk about it. Illusionist. There you go. I was just curious. So there you go. The Zeratul. Zeratul is the most played hero, and he was a Diamond 3. But it's just a placement game. So, I mean, roughly speaking, I suppose, on average, probably like a low diamond-ish standard, and just able to crush. But yeah, there's the build. Illusionist at 13 and Mirror Ball at 16. This is a fairly standard Li Ming build. Again, maybe mix up those level 1 and 4 things, and there's the stats. We'll come back to those in a second. But yeah, Tracer used to kind of counter her, no longer. I mean, compared to, let's say, like Jaina or Kel'Thas, right, or Chromie, they're all vulnerable because they've got no teleport, right? They're all vulnerable to, like, Stitches, or, yeah, there's a few other, like, heroes kind of like that. They're vulnerable. They can be countered more easily. It's really hard to counter Li Ming. It's like, you pick a Nubkeks. If you don't get a Nubkeks, I mean, there's kind of Zeratul, but I don't know. It feels like there's nothing that really hard counters her. So she's just consistent and safe to pick up early in the draft, and that's why I rate her so highly. Because it can be difficult sometimes when you're early on in the draft to pick a hero that's not going to be counterpicked in some way, and Li Ming does that, especially if you can like the perfect thing is if they first pick something else and then you can like first and second pick like Li Ming and Nubkeks together. It's just like, yeah, sweet, cool. You picked away her main counter and they combo fairly well, and it's just really nice. But yeah, looking at the stats, it seems we did crazy well. Not fully representative of Li Ming, again, because there's a bit of a skill divergence here between... I've had a big losing streak, so the game is rating me lower than it should be. But yeah, I mean, like, no deaths, loads of hero damage and stuff. You should expect her to be probably top of hero damage. She does a lot of hero damage in comparison to, let's say, Jaina. Jaina does less damage, but she does... she brings more utility. Same with Falstad. Falstad does less damage but brings more utility. Li Ming typically should have high both siege and hero damage. That's kind of what she excels at. Just doing lots of damage. And she is very, very strong. hopefully that is some insight. It was a short little game, and I was kind of trying to rush through all the thoughts I had to bring you guys in this. I probably left some out, but there you go. Let me know if you have any questions as well about Li Ming. I thought it was, though, seeing as that I feel like she's just so strong at the moment, I thought it was about time to bring you guys another Li Ming video. I do have other Li Ming videos up on the channel, because she is a very fun hero, and I do enjoy playing her, so you can check those out as well. With some of them with different builds too, but this is a relatively good build. Again, mix it up as the needs of the thing dictate. In this game in particular, I was looking at Zeratul, and then the fact that they've got 2 slow sustain damage, I said, okay, don't need to worry about the sustain damage. And Zeratul, okay, I just, yeah, if I get dominance and force armor, I'm going to be completely safe. And I'm just going to be able to wreck him. And you can see I was going so aggressive. I was just like jumping, like blinking on top of Zeratul, and it's been like, yep, here I am, Zeratul. Nice to meet you. I'm going to kill you now. I get resets, and there's nothing much you can do. And it works. It works. If you want to see really good Li Ming play, do check out, I think, Lockdown, who is, well, he was on Tempest, now called Tempo Storm. He's amazing at Li Ming. His Li Ming play, particularly in the summer not the summer regionals, in the summer Heroes Global Championship, the summer championships of Heroes of the Storm, should be up on World. I'm not sure where, but if you type it into your YouTube search, you'll find it. But you'll find like probably the finals against MVP Black. I think he plays Li Ming in a few of those games, and he's just awesome at her. Or if he doesn't play him there in the semi-finals or whatever, but he plays really good Li Ming, and a very aggressive kind of bruisery style Li Ming, where he does go in very hard, and just his positioning is awesome to see. I think that's really good. Or on the US, Crowan is also good as well if you're from the US. There you go, guys. That is a quick look at Li Ming. She's very good. She's very good. And how do you stop her? Pick an Uberak. If you can't pick him, what you do? I don't know. She's just going to be consistently strong, and that's important. Oh well. Use her to your advantage, I guess. And give it a like if you liked it. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.